And good morning, everyone. So as many of you know, and as Anne mentioned earlier, there are different California minimum wage considerations separate from the city and county local ordinance that have their own minimum wage requirements. So as a quick reminder, the California state minimum wage is to pay at least $15.50 per hour as of January 1st, 2023. And as you'll remember, back in 2017, there was a phased increase. So it was starting to increase this minimum wage until it hit $15. So now we've hit that. We've gone over the 15, we're at $15.50 for all employees, regardless of the employer size. What are we looking at for 2024? Well, the statute provides that the minimum wage for 2024 is going to be determined based on inflation, and that will be determined by August 1st. So that's something to keep an eye out here if you have locations that don't fall within your own minimum wage requirements. Now, there is something to keep an eye out that's coming out onto the ballot in November of 2024 as well. It's the California $18 minimum wage initiative, and that would increase the state minimum wage annually until it hits $18 per hour by 2026. And as a reminder, those of you that do pay your employees on a exempt or have exempt employees, the salary test for exempt employees is based off of the state minimum wage, not the local minimum wage. So right now for January 1st, 2023, the minimum salary threshold is $64,480. And again, that would change with the minimum wage increase in January 1st of 2024. Now, California has about 40 different local city and county ordinances that have their own higher minimum wage. And in addition to these ordinances, many of these cities and counties also have their own tip and service charge ordinances. We're not going to get into that today, but just a little preview to join us next month. And we're going to deep a little diver into those issues. But in the meantime, for the local minimum wage considerations, employers need to be sure that they're paying the correct minimum wage based off of where their location is. Now, if you have multiple locations, it's important to check the minimum wage rate for each of those locations. We're going to go into how you figure that out in just a moment. But if you have employees that travel, they go to different locations, they're in different cities, they're in different counties, you need to check for each of those areas. And a lot of these different city and county ordinances have different requirements. So for example, both the city of Santa Monica and the city of Los Angeles, if there's an employee that performs at least 2 hours of work in that week within that city, they're required to be paid that higher minimum wage, the minimum wage that applies to the city of Santa Monica or the city of LA for those hours worked. So even if they may work normally in, say, Pasadena, but they spend 4 hours that week in Santa Monica, those 4 hours need to be paid at the Santa Monica rate. So that's something to consider when you're trying to figure out which rate you need to pay your employees at. The biggest first hurdle that you come across here is trying to figure out, well, which jurisdiction do I fall under? There's 40 different ones. And to make that even more complicated, we have incorporated and unincorporated areas. And I've kind of listed out here some of the ones that we see often that are, a little bit more complicated. There's a few that are very straightforward. It's the city of Malibu, the city of Pasadena. But Los Angeles and San Mateo are a little different. So you have the city of Los Angeles, and then you have the unincorporated areas of the county of Los Angeles. Same thing with San Mateo. And then San Francisco has the city of San Francisco, but city of South San Francisco is separate. San Diego, the city of San Diego has an ordinance, but the rest of the county of San Diego does not.